Buddy. Um, Getting ready for game two. A little recap on Evansville. A couple of things that I think really stood out that I probably should have hit on post game. 7 assists, Trent Frazier, no turnovers. I thought by far and away his best game as a floor general. And then when you watch the game and break it down, the coverages he made defensively were exceptional. Really pleased with Trent's play in a game that he impacted so greatly and didn't have 25 points. That's really encouraging. Secondly was Georgie. And I think Georgie is an outstanding post defender and interior defender. He does a great job in ball screens and his coverages. He didn't miss a coverage, which is very impressive for a freshman. And then got 10 rebounds. Now we got to continue to get that consistent effort from him every single night. But and one other guy that I think really stood out that was really impressive was DeMonte Williams. And DeMonte was I think 4 or 5 from the field, but 3 charges. Was just in the right spot almost every time defensively, and those are guys that we didn't spend a lot of time talking about, but in breaking down the film, I was really pleased with, and those are good signs for our depth and our bench. And I thought we did a good job of taking Evansville out of what they wanted to do. We were scared to death of them at the 3-point line. They're a team that could rattle off 10, 12 of them if you don't guard them, and I thought we did a good job of that. We had 45 points in under 7 seconds. That's a good number. That's a good number. We would take that every single night. So some things to grow from. I think we've got a new challenge in Georgetown, and I'm excited for that game. I'm excited for our fans. I do want to make mention that this is a great opportunity for our students to come see us. Got a great promotion going on to get to the game and get on those floor seats and really make some noise against a big time quality opponent. And so I'm excited for the promotion that's out there with our students and free tickets and an opportunity to get in the basketball spirit here in the month of November. So. Georgetown's very good. Govan in the middle is a legit pro prospect. He's a guy that was a double-double machine last year. He has proven that this year. He is one of the most efficient offensive players I've seen. I think he's shooting 75% right now from the field, about 66, 67% from the three, somewhere right in there. And then getting it on the glass as well at a double-figure rate. So really an efficient, maybe as good as a big guy as we will see all season long. So they're 2-0. They've shot the ball exceptionally well from the three. So to go along with Govan in the middle, they've got guys who are very capable from the three-point line. So a great challenge for us, and we'll see if we can continue to grow and do it against a heck of an opponent, and what I hope will be just a wonderful environment in the State Farm Center.
What's the biggest challenge for you guys with the bigger height down there?
Well, they're a very good rebounding team, and I think we've got to do a good job of making contact early. We had a tendency, I think, the first 3 or 4 possessions in the Evansville game, we just turned and ran to the ball or ran to the rim. And they got a couple long rebounds. We've got to do a better job of hitting them. They're going to play a little more interior, so they won't be quite as much 5 out. So we've got to lay bodies on people on the blocks and drive them out of there. So it's something we've tried to really focus on here in the last few days.
Brad, no disrespect to Evansville, how much does the competition jump now in the next couple of weeks for where you guys are going and what you're going to see?
Well, we're playing all high major programs for the most part, and they're all capable of being ranked teams. And I think you start looking at Georgetown, and they've got guys who are next level guys. And how they play out through the course of the season, wins and losses, it's to be determined. But Evansville's a pretty good team if you let them catch and shoot it, and so I don't want to take anything away from them. But we're going to face guys that are next level guys, and we're going to face teams that have experience and are legit top 25 teams, and some on the road, some at home, some neutral, and that's what we've signed up for here in this program, and we're going to continue to play really, really good people. And like I've said many times, to become one of the best, you got to beat the best, and we're doing that.
Monte seems to have infected his teammates with that zeal for taking charges. Kipper talked about it this morning. What's the coaching staff doing to make players aware of those situations?
Well, I think it's, we were 3 feet. We talk about 3 feet a lot. And we have a line in our practice gyms that goes right down the middle of the court. And getting to that blue line, as we call it, because it's blue tape, is meaningful for us. And that's the difference between being able to take a charge and have it called a charge than being able to not get there and be a block. And it's become contagious with those guys. They're taking pride in it. They want to win. And that's another way for us to protect the rim. And Trent takes them, Kipper's taking them. We even had Tev take one yesterday, so we're making strides there. And it's one of those things that can be very contagious, very fun. They're understanding how big a play it is in the course of a game, emotionally for the other team and for us. And so I think it's something that my teams have always done very well, is take a lot of, and this team's buying into that.
Brad, knowing you have had good guard play this year, you always do, but especially this year, how encouraging was that first game that they kind of dictated?
Yeah, I think that it was an opportunity for you guys to see it first game. We've been able to see it a few other times and every day in practice, and that's a pretty good three-headed monster. And I say that because they're all different, and they all do a little bit of something. And yet, a game like Trent had, we all know Trent's capable of 30 every night. And yet he just got in the flow, and he made the right passes, and he got the ball to guys on time. He was exceptional in pick and rolls. His reads were great. And that's affecting a game just as well. And when it gets a guy like AJ going, or it gets a guy like Georgie going, that becomes the ultimate team then. And Dre can do that. Io can do that. Io had his flurry in the second half that was a little taste of what he can do in the open court, and both those guys jump up and make threes, and it's a fun trio to coach, and we're still tweaking things with them, especially on the defensive side. But I'm glad they're on my team. He's getting closer. He's getting closer. He's full speed in practice, and he's he's got to continue to push through the layoff. And that's conditioning, and that's the biggest thing is making sure that we put him on the court in a situation where he's healthy, and that he can sustain. But he's been impressive. He's doing some good things, and he's working awfully hard.
Georgie didn't get that matchup against maybe a guy bigger and stronger than him against Evansville. Will tomorrow, how do you want him to maybe attack that challenge?
Well, I think the one thing with Georgie is Georgie's a guy that is a great anticipator. But Georgie needs help. Anytime you're going against an elite center, somebody's usually got to get him the ball. And we've taken a lot of pride in the fact that our best post defense sometimes is our perimeter defense. So Georgie needs some help. But Georgie's a smart, intellectual player. He's got to make sure that he makes his touches hard, and yet understand that he can't get frustrated when he does score. He's going to make some baskets. I mean, he's a very, very gifted offensive player. Steps out to three. He's hit step backs off the dribble. He's a legit 6'10" pro prospect, and sometimes he's going to play great defense and he's going to make shots. So he's just got to make him work and be consistent for 40 minutes in everything he does.
How important was it for Tev to do some good things against Evansville?
Great.
Build up his confidence?
Yeah, tremendous. I mean, as a freshman, that confidence is everything. Confidence is a vital part of of his success, and I think we saw a little bit of what he can do offensively in the second half. He can score in a variety of ways, but defensively, he makes an unbelievable block that nobody else on our team can make after getting beat off the dribble. So it was a bad thing that he didn't hang his head. He got beat, and then he went and made a block on the backboard, which was a heck of a play. And he's rebounding the ball. He's getting more confident there. But yeah, pretty good way to build a little confidence, and I was really proud of him on Friday night.
So Kipper had gone to Alvin after the exhibition, hearing that Io shot 100 free throws after the first game. He said he shot 100 the next morning. What's it like kind of seeing your players buying in and putting in that work directly after games?
That's what I've said all along. That's what this team is about. This team's competitive, and when they don't live up to their own expectations, this is a group that has pride, and you want that, and you want to know that guy's going to go to the gym and work on something he didn't do well, whether it was 1 for 10 or going 0 for 3 from the free throw line, and that's something that I think every coach strives for, and this group is not going to settle for anything but that. They push themselves that way and individually, and when you do that individually, that becomes a pretty good team characteristic to have, and one that I'm excited we've got going.
Brad, he looked pretty happy and proud of himself to take a charge and dive on the floor. What did you see from him doing those little things?
Yeah, I mean, those are all things that help win games, and we try to get these guys to understand that it's not just a dunk or an alley-oop or making a three. It's all the little intangible things that become major, and it's diving on the floor and loose balls, and like I said, it's 3 feet. It's literally the difference between winning and losing sometimes, and when guys buy into that, I want them to be excited because they're contributing to something bigger than their moment. They're contributing to a win, and that's something that we're striving for, and guys are becoming bought into that. We lost too many loose balls. We showed that to them in film. There's a couple loose balls we could have had, and we just didn't lay out to dive on them. And in a close game, you've got to do those things, and those are the key elements we talk about. And sometimes it's a difference between 1 and 2 possession games, whether they go your way or not.
You mentioned points in under 7 seconds. How has this team gotten to that speed that you want?
Well, they pass one. Secondly, we've been able to turn some people over and create some live ball turnovers, but this group is so unselfish, and I think 22 assists, and then when you compound that with the hockey assist, you're talking 32, 33 assists. We made so many extra passes. We also missed a couple layups in that, but when you start pushing that ball ahead and playing faster than the defense can get back, you've got an opportunity to be really effective that way.
How do you assess the lineup combinations you've used so far?
Still working on that. Things were we got on a big run the other night, and got ahead, and so I still have to evaluate some of those lineups in crunch time. When it's grind moments. But I think the one thing that again went unnoticed, we asked Io to rebound and really help us on that. He got 6 rebounds the other night. We get that kind of consistent effort from Io, then we're allowed to play those 3 little guys a lot more than maybe we have in the past.
Mac McClung talked about freshman guard for Georgetown, but what does Kenjo do?
Well, Kenjo's a tough sucker. He was MVP of the Peach Jam a few years ago on the AAU circuit, and he's a kid that he's fearless. He's got great quickness. He's electric in transition. He gives them a different speed and gear. He's shifty. He closed out the game the other night going 8 for 8 from the free throw line. He's a good player, and he's a kid that's played at the highest levels, and he's gotten his career off to a very good start.
Brad, do you tell these guys anything about Patrick Ewing? I don't know how much they know about him.
I haven't said anything. I know he's got a few thousand more points than I do. Got about 575 more rebounds than I ever got. Yeah, I mean, you're talking one of the elite players in the history of the game, and you know, it's an opportunity. I mean, I'm excited. I grew up, and you know, he's a year older than me, and went to camps together and saw him play in back east, and you know, the guy is obviously a Hall of Famer. So it's pretty special, and his impact on his team is becoming very evident. I mean, this is a tough, big, physical basketball team.
What did you think of your 1-2-2 three-quarter court press, and how much do you want to use that moving forward?
Yeah, it was a big part of our run, and we started straight man the other night and jumped in that, and again, it was a good rhythm change. It gave us an opportunity to settle in and lock down defensively, and then I thought we did a good job of conversion out of that back into our man. It's a team that wanted to run a lot of sets, so it shortened the shot clock for them, and you know, in the meantime, probably got them sped up a little bit and out of control and trying to do things that maybe they didn't want to do. So yeah, it was an effective tool for us, especially in the first half.
But do you expect Osama or Allen to be available tomorrow?
Yes, both.
Adonis.
To be determined.
Back to Tavian Jones, the difference between his first time stepping in front of the crowd and the second seems like night and day. You've seen a jump.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you have exhibition games. Have you seen anything that dramatic in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember back that far, but I think, you know, the one thing with everything with Tab, that's the true essence of a freshman. Every experience is a new one. And stepping out in front of that crowd the first night against Illinois Wesleyan it can be a little intimidating, and yet he handled it the next night very, very well, and that's what you keep hoping is for growth. And you know, I think Io said it after the game, he was nervous, and those guys will settle in, and they'll have, instead of nervousness, it'll become excitement, and then we can really focus then and continue to grow from that point. Thank you.